The smart farmer. Long ago, in a serene valley surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a farmer named Arun. Arun was not the wealthiest man in the village, nor did he own the largest piece of land. But he was admired by everyone, from the elders to the children, for his wisdom, generosity, and unyielding commitment to excellence in farming. Arun was known as the model farmer. Humble beginnings. Arun wasn't always successful. When he was young, he inherited a small piece of barren land from his parents. The soil was hard, water was scarce, and crops refused to grow. While other farmers prospered, Arun struggled to make ends meet. Many villagers pitied him. Others mocked him for his misfortune. One day, sitting under a banyan tree at the edge of his field, Arun overheard two elders discussing farming. One elder said,
"Success in farming doesn't come from luck or wealth. It comes from understanding the land, working with nature, and building a strong community."
These words struck Arun deeply. He realized that if he wanted to succeed, he would need to change not only his methods, but his entire approach to life. That night, he vowed to dedicate himself to becoming a better farmer, not for wealth, but to bring life back to his barren fields and provide for his village.
The 4 pillars of success. Arun began to live by 4 principles, which he called the pillars of success. These became the foundation of his transformation.
Respect the land. Arun understood that his land was more than just soil. It was alive and it needed care. He studied the natural cycles of the seasons, the patterns of rainfall, and the types of plants that grew wild in the area. He started practicing crop rotation, planting legumes one season to enrich the soil and grains the next to harvest food. He also planted trees along the edges of his fields to prevent soil erosion and provide shade. Over time, his fields began to change. The soil grew dark and fertile, and tiny green shoots started to appear where nothing had grown before. Arun treated his land like a friend, and it rewarded him with abundance.
Adapt to the seasons. In the past, Arun had planted crops without considering the seasons. Now he learned to adapt. During the rainy season, he planted rice in the low-lying areas of his field, where water collected naturally. In the dry season, he grew millet and sorghum, crops that required less water. When floods threatened his fields, Arun built small embankments to guide the water into irrigation channels. These channels not only saved his crops, but also helped neighboring farms. His ability to adapt turned his once barren land into a thriving garden.
work with the community. Arun realized that no farmer could succeed alone. He reached out to his neighbors, sharing seeds, tools, and knowledge. Together, they built a community granary to store surplus grain for times of need. They also created a cooperative system where each family contributed labor to maintain shared irrigation canals and repair village roads. During planting and harvest seasons, Arun organized festivals to celebrate the collective effort. The sense of unity and shared purpose transformed the village. And soon, everyone began to thrive. Share the harvest. Arun believed that wealth meant nothing if it wasn't shared. He set aside a portion of every harvest for the poor, the sick, and the elderly. He also donated crops to the temple, ensuring that no one in the village went hungry. His generosity inspired others to give as well. Over time, the village became known as a place of kindness and abundance, where everyone looked out for one another.
The village transforms. Years passed, and Arun's farm became a model of success. His fields were green and vibrant, his granary was full, and his heart was light with joy. But more than his personal achievements, it was his impact on the village that made him truly remarkable. The once dry valley was now a lush paradise. The villagers, inspired by Arun's example, had adopted his principles. They respected their land, adapted to nature, worked together, and shared their blessings. Arun's vision had transformed not only his own farm, but the entire community.
One year, a severe drought struck the valley. Rivers dried up, and the fields began to wither. Fear gripped the villagers as they faced the possibility of famine. Many turned to Arun for guidance.
Don't lose hope, Arun told them. We have prepared for this. Together, we can overcome it.
He organized the villagers to dig deeper irrigation channels and conserve water. He opened the granary to distribute stored grain and encouraged everyone to plant drought-resistant crops. Aaron also led prayers at the temple, asking for rain and strength to endure. Though the drought tested their resolve, the villagers survived. When the rains finally returned, the fields sprang back to life, stronger than before. Arun's leadership during the crisis solidified his place in their hearts.
A lasting legacy. As Arun grew older, he began to pass on his knowledge to the younger generation. He taught them not only the techniques of farming, but also the values of respect, adaptability, community, and generosity. One day, as Arun sat under the banyan tree that had inspired him years ago, he watched the villagers working together in the fields. The sight filled him with pride and gratitude. He realized that his greatest harvest was not the crops he had grown, but the lives he had touched. When Arun passed away, the villagers built a small shrine in his honor under the banyan tree. They carved into the shrine the words he had often said: "A farmer's success is not measured by his harvest, but by the lives he helps to grow."
Moral of the story: true success comes from respecting nature, building strong communities, and sharing one's blessings. A model farmer grows not only crops, but also hope, harmony, and a legacy that endures.